Ladies and gentlemen, liquor drinkers of all ages, sizes, colors, and perhaps even genders. Tonight we're going to start a new video series. We're going to call this one the Not Necessarily Whiskey Review, because I enjoy a lot of things that aren't necessarily whiskey. I prefer Scotch and Irish whiskey. I like bourbon sometimes, but there's nothing wrong with a good, in this case, Hennessy cognac, you know what I mean? Or a nice tequila, or a good gin, you know what I mean? I like all kinds of different liquors, not necessarily all the time, but if they're good, I will like them. So, obviously, on the bed tonight, we have Hennessy cognac, very famous brand of cognac, along with a few other brands, are Remy Martin, you name it. There are a ton of other brands that make up probably like 50% of the market for cognac. And let's remember, all cognac is brandy, but not all brandy is cognac. So obviously the difference between whiskey and, in this case, brandy cognac, is cognac and brandy are usually made from grapes instead of being made from corn or malted barley or malted wheat, malted rye, any of the above, unmalted barley, unmalted wheat, unmalted rye. Brandy and cognac are usually traditionally made from grapes. Hence, the French are famous for their wines, their great production, and obviously their cognac. So, let's get the snout right up in there. Yeah, I mean, I guess it smells like what wine would be if it was a liquor. So that makes sense. It smells like wine that's been distilled down to a liquor. And perhaps aged in a barrel, because it's got that very oaky presence on it. Not overly oaky, but you can smell it's been in a barrel, and it looks like it's been in a barrel. I mean, it's got some color to it, so all liquor starts out as clear. This spent some time in a barrel, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's not ethanol-y. It doesn't have a whole lot on the nose. You might get like a hint of sweet grapes and oak. That's about all I seem to get off of it. Doesn't smell too far off from like a good, strange single malt scotch. You know what I mean? Like a single malt distillery that uses a unique yeast and gets a unique fruity profile out of its fermentations and distillations. So it's kind of, very refined. I would say the nose is subtle and refined, but we're here to drink it. Let's have at it. Wow. Let's see. Are we getting any hint of the legs? We're going to get a hint of the legs. You can see the legs come down probably a little quicker than some single malts. If you can see it, yeah, there you go. You can get some of it there in the corner. But it's coming down faster. It doesn't really have. I'm going to go back in for one more sip, but it's very subtle. It doesn't really have a whole lot going on. It's just sweet. Very smoothish, I guess you would call it. Like, not, it doesn't bite you. Like when it goes down, it's only 40%, so it's 80 proof. When it goes down, it doesn't have any bite, any taste of ethanol. It's smoothed out totally. Very sippable, very enjoyable, but there's not a whole lot going on. I expected more, you know what I mean? But maybe this is why people enjoy this as kind of a sipping cocktail, because it's not assaulting your palate with any particular flavor. There's just a sweetness and a subtle, you're drinking an alcoholic beverage, but it's not like it's jumping up and biting you with harshness. Yeah, not a lot on the nose, not a lot at all, and killing it off. Very smooth, sweet, subtle. Obviously, like I said, it tastes like you distilled a wine down to its essence, and then you stuck it in a barrel, and that's about all it has to offer. But what it does have to offer is no offensiveness, no jaggedness. This is something that's very, very sippable. I think you could sit down to a bottle of this and get yourself into a lot of trouble, which maybe explains a lot in America, because this is far more subtle than any whiskey, whether it's Irish, Scotch, especially a bourbon. This is far, far more subtle. It's like a refined sipping liquor. And it's not very strong. It's only 40%, so it's not blowing you away. But it's smooth, it's sweet, it's enjoyable. Would I drink it on the regular? No. I think I need something with a little bit more character to it. Something that's got a little bit more, how would the French put it? Je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean? It's kind of approachable but bland, is how I put it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a whole lot of character, but what character it does have is very drinkable, approachable, and enjoyable. But it is not a whole lot going on. It's just kind of like a very smooth distilled wine that's been in a barrel for a certain amount of time. So with that being said, I think I want to keep this one going, the Mad Micks Not Quite whiskey review, because there are a lot of things that I'd like to give a try to. I might not want to buy a bottle of. You can see I only bought the nipper of it, because I don't think I want a whole bottle of Hennessy. You know, if I'm going to spend that money, I'm going to spend it on something that I really want, or something that I'm really interested in. But there are, some things that I think that are outside of the whiskey world, whether it be cognac, whether it be tequila, whether it be gin, whether it be some of these strange, liquors that I wouldn't normally buy. But I'd like to give them a try. I'd like to see what they taste like, and, give my opinion of it, whatever that's worth. And maybe I will find something, you know what I mean? Maybe I will find something in one of these bottles that I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. This is something that I could drink, you know what I mean? At least every once in a while. Because I rarely drink the same whiskey twice in a row. Anyway, I will buy a bottle, every now and again if I like it. But I like to keep mixing it up. I like to get different bottles all the time because it keeps you on your toes. It gives you an idea of what's going on out there in the liquor world. And this is definitely an approachable bottle. So I guess maybe in the future I'll have to get a different cognac to compare it to. Would I recommend this? Yeah, sure, why not? You can drink it. It's not offensive, it's subtle, it's drinkable. You could sit down to a glass of this all the time and not be offended and know you drank a pretty good refined liquor. Is it my favorite? No, my favorite is really good single malt scotch. That's my favorite. Your favorite might be very different. Maybe your favorite is Hennessy. And, good for you. Enjoy it. This is an enjoyable liquor. I picked it. I think my liquor store had this on sale at the counter for $1 or $1.50 a shot. So I said, why not take a chance? So I didn't lose much, but I did learn a little bit. I learned how a good cognac tastes. I don't drink cognac enough, even though I've had Louis XIII, which is supposedly some of the world's best cognac, and that was delicious. But with that being said, the Mad Mix, not necessarily whiskey review. Number one, Hennessy. I'll give it a 8.6. I think it's good. I think you'd enjoy it if you got a bottle of it. So with that being said, love yourself. Gotta love yourself, always. Love your friends. Love your family. And love not necessarily whiskey, I guess. I'll see you soon. Later.